Those creaking doorless chambers and strained adversing cells echo through the halls whenever candlelights flicker, when the air is deathly still. That is the time those young peasants practicing their ghoulish delight. When cryptos creak and tombstones quake, spoons come out for a swinging wake. Happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. Close your eyes and don't try to hide. Shrouded in a dark disguise. Grim ghosts come out to socialize. When cryptos creak and tombstones quake, spoons come out for a swinging wake. Happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim ghosts come out to socialize.
What's up, everybody?
What is up? We are back.
How's the lighting look? I tried to
Dude,
adjust this lighting.
beautiful.
I do my best. I mean, I'm no spring chicken. I'm no Atlas like you are, but I mean, I try.
I like the shirt.
Oh yeah. Is this the one that your mom picked up or your dad picked up for you?
Yeah. They both went in. I don't know if they got food. They might have just went in like, I just need a shirt for my weird ass son.
If you didn't watch the video, she said that this is actually Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I thought it was when they originally did release the design, but I felt stupid saying that, so I was just like, I'm probably wrong.
I'm quietly be like, yeah, I'm right.
I really should have. Trying to see here. So, hold on. I'm like all discombobulated. Let's put. I want to put this up first. Go vote for the next movies we're watching. We have the poll up on both of our YouTube channels. We have it up on our Facebook. I've shared it everywhere I can. I can never find. Trying to see what we're looking at on community. So I only have 11 votes right now on YouTube.
You're doing good on Facebook, though, aren't you?
I
think your Facebook does better than my Facebook, and then my YouTube usually does better.
I'm gonna get banned from so many groups because I literally just share this shit
I just spam
everywhere.
it.
Oh yeah, dude, I spam the hell out of it. Like, and Steven, Spooky Hollows, like if you guys see the post and if you have weird places that you can share it to get people to put their thoughts on there, do it up. We always appreciate that.
I think I have 20 votes on Facebook, and then I have.
Thanks, Steven. Appreciate you.
40 votes. So altogether, I have 60 votes.
Perfect. I got 38 on Facebook and 11 on. But Fortress is still losing. So thanks, guys. But okay, so
bad.
I'm gonna let you tell this story, Chuck. I'm gonna let you tell everyone about the message you got from me last night after I watched this movie.
Let me pull it up. It's been a fever dream of because we all know, like, we have that certain thing that we enjoy doing, and it's been how many years? Because I'm a person that loves horror. I love horror, and I love Marvel movies, which recently I heard that you do too.
Oh yeah, I love the Marvel movies. Yeah.
But I also enjoy, and I don't get much time to do it anymore, video games. And recently, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom released, and I put over hundreds of hours into Breath of the Wild. I was like, you know what? I will wait to get this, and then Chesley surprised me with it because of, if no one hasn't noticed, for like 16 days I haven't put out a video. I just don't have anything coming in because being broke sucks.
You've been gaming this whole time.
So she bought it for me. She was like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you. I know you haven't been able to buy anything for yourself. Like you've been missing all these boxes. I mean, tons of companies have been put out boxes I've had to miss and other things. Just lack of cash." And she was like, "So I got this for you." I was like, "Well, I really appreciate it." So for the past 4 days, I jumped into that.
And so Spooky asked, PC or console?
Oh, I'm well right now. I'm Switch. I've never been a PC person because I'm kind of tech dumb. So I've never jumped into that like whole PC Steam. I know it's better graphics and people are like, yeah, PC's better. I've just been a console kid for. I mean, we grew up relatively poor and broke. So when everybody else was playing, Nintendo 64, I was like, did y'all see my sweet Atari 2600? Boy. So it took a while for us to get anything new. And then when we got old enough to have jobs is when we saved up to get like the Xbox 360 and stuff like that as it came out.
Yeah, I always I had like a Nintendo, I had a Sega, and then PlayStation. But I kind of just didn't really play video games all that much. Like when I was like in the fraternity house, we'd always play Halo. And then a few years back, I got hand, mouth, and foot, or hand, foot, mouth, whatever it is.
Isn't that a child's disease?
Dude. This was like 5 or 6 years ago, like when Emily and I first were dating, and I was bedridden. Like I could not walk because the sores on my feet were so bad. I could barely move my hands, but I could like do enough to play PlayStation. So I ended up playing The Last of Us. And that game was really cool. Like after they did the show and everything.
Yeah.
I was really happy with it. Let's see here. Trying to find something.
Oh, no, but you put that out of the 3 movies we've watched so far, Arachnophobia, Dead Alive, and now Dr. Giggles, this has been your favorite.
Chesley, yes.
So,
as an adult and as older, it's the worst. And yes,
like chicken pox.
I made Chuck dig for that, and then we jumped to something else. I'm sorry. So do you want? Can you repeat that for me, Chuck? I want the credit for this comment. I want it to be known to the entire world.
That out of the 3 movies we have watched in this monthly movie club series we are doing, and hopefully will continue in the future, this has been the best movie he's seen.
It's true. It's true. I really, really loved Dr. Giggles. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I actually felt bad that I watched it alone because Spooky Hollows and Chuck, you both warned me that if I didn't like Dead Alive, I was not going to like Dr. Giggles. I loved it. And we're going to get into it. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to, Chesley, I'm not going to say you're wrong. You're not right. You're not right. But I'm going to drop a link. I don't know if the links will work. I saw Patrick Von Smithensign is hiding out in here somewhere. So I'm going to drop a link in here. His Etsy shop, Body Scare. This is like the place where I get like my beard oils and stuff. It is the shit. I just bought 2 scents from them not too long ago, and I'm already out of. Well, I'm just about out of one, and I still haven't really opened up the other one, but it's so good, so good.
Yeah, I've been using their whenever they did the Bruce that came with the little vial of prop used blood from the movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
I still have some of the Bruce, and I just haven't bought anything from really anybody. Sorry, Patrick. like if I wanted to go buy beard oil again, I would go to you guys for sure. It's just I still have a little bit left of the Bruce, and
the Bruce
I really
was good.
For soap, I kind of got hooked on that Dr. Squatch.
Did you?
Yeah, I enjoy it. So.
I can't remember. There was some soap I was getting for a little bit, and it was like a subscription thing, and I enjoyed it. It came with a little rubber chicken. I don't remember what the brand name was though, but it ended up being like too expensive. For some reason, it like melted away really fast.
Well, Let's get to this movie, but I want to start
All
off by
right.
reading you. I want to read you a poem.
Oh, I want to hear it. Let's hear the poem.
Our town has a doctor, and his name is Rendell. Stay away from his house. He's a doctor from hell. Chopped up his patients, every last one, and cut out their hearts, purely for fun. So, if you're from more high, and you should get sick, then fall on your knees and pray you die quick. I lost you there.
I was trying to make it epic. I was putting you front row center. I was putting you on the stage. You were doing your Shakespeare. I wrote that down too. I'm glad that you started with that. Like, dude, this was a good movie.
Well, I don't know what made it bad for some people, honestly. It was a good team. A lot of fairly good actors when they were younger were, I mean, not fairly good, but I mean, decent actors were in it when they were young. The cinematography, like the way it was shot, was very nice. You had K&B Effects. That's Greg Nicotero's, company and stuff. He headed up tons of the stuff, the special effects and stuff like that. What I think hurt it the most was the was it MA? Who's the people that does the ratings?
I was about to say something that was so wrong.
I know it's like it's 4 letters, but MAPP, I don't know, something.
MPAA.
Yeah, the MPAA. They came after this movie for some reason. So all the stuff that you don't quite see, like when he's cutting a throat or he's doing this, and you see the blood, but you don't see the act, they actually filmed the acts of him doing this stuff. And the gore, and like I said, K&B Effects did tons of this stuff, but they weren't allowed to show it because they had to cut it all. Like they came to him, was like, listen, for you to even get a rated R, you're gonna have to cut like 41% of the stuff you have in this. So
that's insane. And I did kind of notice it didn't really seem all that bloody. It wasn't all that insane.
Yeah.
It was tasteful for what it was, and I didn't look into Nicotero being tied to it, but I remember seeing that or hearing that somewhere else too. So I guess I did know that, and it makes sense because I feel like his special effects are very kind of like Tom Savini, where you can usually tell that it's him.
So we have Larry Drake as Evan Rendell, the titular character of Dr. Giggles. You might know him from he is well known. Like when you see him, your brain for me, it don't jump directly to Dr. Giggles. It jumps to Darkman series, the Darkman, which that's on the list for movies to watch because a lot of people forget about Darkman. That is technically a horror movie, and the first
I've never seen that.
Yeah, the first one was done by Sam Raimi. It's got Bruce Campbell in it. It's got I always blank on actor names. The dude from Taken.
No, the main actor, Leslie Nielsen, or
yeah,
Liam Nielsen.
Liam. Yeah, he's in.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm listen, I might be crazy, but he's in Darkman 1. I'm gonna double check. My internet's running slow, but
I'm looking it up. I'm trying to keep myself muted because Cujo's freaking out.
Yeah, Liam Nielsen plays Darkman, Peyton.
That's interesting.
And Bruce Campbell's in it, like I said, and then Larry Drake plays one of the main villains of the first one, but then he appears in 2 and 3 because Darkman uses his face for things. I won't spoil it too much because you have not seen the movie, but it is on the list of movies too. Maybe next voting it could go on there because I enjoyed it. It's a neat series.
That seems interesting, especially with Liam Neeson being tied to it. That would be a good one to see.
Yeah. We have Holly Marie Combs, who played Jennifer Campbell, and we all know her from Charmed.
Yep.
She played Piper from Charmed. Glenn Quill played Max Anderson. Now, only thing I've ever seen him in, I think, was like Buffy or Angel. I think it was Angel, but he died very young, like within like very early of his career. So, and sadly enough, Larry Drake died. I think it was in the 2000s, like the teens of the 2000s. And then we have Keith Diamond, who played Officer Joe Ritz, which this is him very young. I've seen him do tons of stuff when he's older, a lot of TV stuff, I think. So,
yeah, it looks like so Larry Drake health problems in the months before his death later reported that he suffered from a rare form of blood cancer that causes blood to thicken. And Glenn Quinn, accidental drug overdose.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I put this in here. He's not like a big actor or anything, but I wanted to see what you thought. There is an actor named John Vickery. He played Dr. Chamberlain, her heart doctor.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and you see him a lot from the side view. Every time I saw him from the side view, I'm like, that's that motherfucker from Twin Peaks.
I've never watched Twin Peaks, man. That's the one that I hate admitting because everyone's always like, "What? How can you never watch Twin Peaks?" I know.
I've never seen Twin Peaks either. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. I feel better.
But that actor is Kyle McClanahan. Twin Peaks. He's done tons of other stuff. But when you're looking this John guy that played Dr. Chamberlain directly in the face, he doesn't look like him. But from all the side views, just his side profile, looks just like the guy.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
And it's weird. So
I thought Dougie Doug being in it, that was interesting to me because you know him from like Cool Runnings.
Running. Yeah, I was about to say that's the one movie you can like automatically say, yeah, that's Dougie Doug. He's in Cool Running.
And so when this movie kicks off, when Dr. Giggles, like the opening trailer scene and stuff like that, it kind of gave me like, and I haven't seen this movie forever, so I could be off target with this, but it gave me almost Lawnmower Man vibes. With just like the special effects and stuff that were going on with the intro. So I was kind of nervous that it was going to be some weird thing like that.
This was groundbreaking for the time. This was like hard work because this was 1992, computer graphics. So the director went to someone to have it specially done because he's like, I had this idea of it doing this thing. And
Lawnmower Man came out in 1992 as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And the funny thing is, the director wanted Larry Drake for Dr. Giggles. They couldn't quite come to an agreement yet, so they were like, okay, well, maybe we can get this guy. They looked at two people. Matt Fewer. You know who that is?
Not off the top of my head.
You ever watch Max Headroom?
I don't think so.
And he's been in stuff like he was that weird, quirky doctor in Eureka and stuff like that. Hold on, how well can you see that? Probably not well. It looks like it's bleached out.
No, I see the hat. Yeah. From that, honestly, he looks like Ed Gein.
But
okay, I recognize.
Okay.
It. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
he was in Lawnmower Man 1 and 2.
Okay,
and that's funny
Riding
that you
the
mentioned
Bullet.
Yeah.
BFG.
Yeah, he was in Riding the Bullet. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I like him, but that was their second go-to. And then as they were not agreeing on terms or something like that, because he was doing Max Headroom at the time, they went through with Larry Drake, which I think works a lot better for the character, honestly.
I agree. I can't imagine this guy being that character. Like,
yeah,
Larry Drake did a great job in this role. Like, pulled off like just the creepy, the goofy, the psychotic in the beginning, like all throughout, really. But he did a great job in this role.
Mm-hmm.
When the credits were rolling in, it said music by Brian May, and I was like, "What? Brian May, the guitarist of Queen?" So I like had to pause it and dig into that a little bit, and it is not the guitarist of Queen. It is just another guy named Brian May. But the score for the movie is fantastic. Like he did a really good job with the score for it.
Yeah, the music,
and that's not
like
something I
said,
really pick up on a lot. So
it just amazes me that, like I said, the music is good. The camera work is really great. The cinematology is good. However you say that, is well done. Stuff like that, and it is just considered a bottom of the barrel schlock early '90s horror movie.
And that's weird to me because like, not that I'm like, I couldn't pick out a lot of movies from that time. Like I'm not that good with time frames and things like that. Plus, 92, I was 7. It really surprised me because it was a good movie. Like it had like that town seeking revenge that you get in like Nightmare on Elm Street. As everything unfolds, because it takes a little bit for you to understand like the backstory to it. And as that backstory like unfolds for everything, it really lays out a good story.
Yeah. So as you were saying, you got the opening.
That opening.
We'll cut right to it. I got a good kill count, and for this one, I went and I was like, you know what? This happens a whole lot, just like how I did the nut shots for the uncle in Dead Alive. I did doctor type puns from him.
Yes. They
like
were
medicine
awesome.
doctor puns. So that count, I'll go and give that count for that, was 27.
That's amazing. Patrick,
So,
I don't know if you caught that I did not like Dead Alive. Like, I didn't like it. So, and people warned me that this one was going to be worse than Dead Alive. The doctor puns, what was that count again? 25?
27.
27? Dude, every time he made one of those, I was stoked. Like, it made me so happy. Like, the final, is there a doctor in the house? It was like, yes, yeah. I'm so glad you ended on a note like that. That made me so fucking happy.
So, we open up with the very futuristic going through the bloodstream and then coming through the heart as a scalpel comes down and cuts its way into the heart. We think we're watching a surgery, like one of those old school viewing room type of surgeries. We have a doctor. He is very professional sounding. And then we see him basically kill this person and go in with a bone saw.
Yeah.
So did you know that character's name?
I don't think so.
They mention it one time, and it's whenever he takes the arms
of the
person he kills and rubs it over the secretary, and it's Dr. Phillips. So kill one, Dr. Phillips.
Philip, dude, took him out. So, and then goes after the secretary like that.
Yeah. Well, I called her a nurse, but I guess she would be like I don't know if she was a secretary or nurse. I just said a random nurse killed off screen. So that's killed too.
And then they go into like the observatory where the surgery happened.
They're looking for him.
And they're looking for him. And all the patients are up top, like looking down, giggling. And then there's the one that's just licking the window. Just,
the one that licked the window looks like who's the dude playing Flash now?
Ezra Miller?
Yeah, he kind of looked like Ezra Miller.
I can see it.
It's not him, but it had a little bit.
I can see it. Oh,
but boy. Yeah, you find out that he released the patients, and as they're walking and he's discussing, they say it's Dr. Patient whatever is Dr. Giggles, and they're like, oh well, that's what we call him because he doesn't have a name.
Yep.
Like he is a random patient that they brought in that has no kind of ID or anything like that. They just know he needed to be locked up. And apparently he had been there for a while.
Foreshadowing.
And the way he talks and his ability with a bone saw and scalpel, and they talk about how high his IQ is. Like he is very, very intelligent, and he has been studying medicine, it looks like. Which is weird that this asylum slash hospital type place has a surgery observatory room.
Right.
I guess maybe they're doing electroshock therapy and everybody can watch. I don't know.
It's an educational facility,
That's
probably
likes
exactly
to alive better.
I'm ignoring Chesley now. She made me mad. I'm kidding.
She's in there playing Zelda right now.
Spooky said the same thing basically. I'm okay with you know what? I'm all right with it. It's fine. I'll be on this side of the fence all alone.
I enjoy it for just the campiness and stuff like. The same reason I enjoy Evil Dead 2. I enjoyed Dead Alive. So,
well, and when he gets out and it shows him get into the car and drive off into the sunrise.
Yeah, he kills. I said key card guy. I don't know if he's like a security or maybe a somebody that works.
Yeah, just somebody heading out for the night. Yeah. Takes him out, and then you get introduced to Moreland, the town where everyone's at.
More high,
yeah. And it's just that small town feel. I love how movies can introduce you to a town and let you know if it's going to be a small town. Is it going to be a city where no one knows anybody? I really like how they can just drop little character interactions that you're like, okay, cool. This is a small town feel. The setting is going to be in this small town where everybody knows everybody. Because that can really set the stage for certain things in the future. Like the woman who's always scared, always calling the cops. So the cops ignore her and don't take her seriously and stuff like that. That introduction to the town is always interesting to me, how they pull that off.
Yeah, the house they actually built in a park. The front of the house is just a facade that they built in a... I learned a very professional way to say facade doing the haunt stuff, even though I'm just a haunt enthusiast. We went to Trans World and everybody had prop builder and all these other neat little things underneath their tags that said their name. Mine said haunt enthusiast. I'm like, that's a slap in the face. A lot of people said haunt actor. I'm like, I'm a haunt actor. Why am I an enthusiast? You're an asshole.
I like enthusiasts.
But they built that in a park specifically to blow up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. The house was really cool looking.
Yeah.
That's the kind of house I would love, with that round structure to it that goes to a point. I love that.
We have one of the houses near where I live that looks like that, and it looks kind of like the Beetlejuice house a little bit, and it's on a hill off by itself. I'm like, I'd love to have that house. I'd paint it pitch black and stuff like that.
That goals. I want to paint my house black so bad.
But yeah.
So
it's a nice little small town.
Right. You get the small town, you have the scary house in town that everyone knows is haunted, and it just so happens that that's where the man who just murdered his doctors is going. So it was funny to me that when he goes to the basement and you have this abandoned house, you have that doctor's office down there that it was boarded up, so it was hidden. But how did that stay hidden for all those years?
Don't ask me, because whenever he first opens the door, it's like a little doctor's office. And you're like, oh, it's like your little local doctor's office down there. And then he goes in that one room, and that huge, it's fucking hospital hallway.
Yes!
I'm like, he has to there has to be a abandoned mind he converted from that into this giant hospital down here. There was multiple patient rooms.
Absolutely. That was I have that in my notes. How, okay, what the hell is this? You're saying this entire hospital is under their house. What the heck? Yeah. Come on.
This is that whole TARDIS situation where it's bigger on the inside.
Absolutely.
And then, we are introduced to Jennifer Campbell. And I was just curious. I didn't catch the school's name, but I can imagine it being More High.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it said More High is. Yeah, I don't know if it said
the school name. Yeah, it was very brief. It was just
when you meet the students, you meet. So yeah, you meet Jennifer, you meet her boyfriend, and you meet the two girls who don't like Jennifer apparently and want the boyfriend to screw up.
Well, and apparently they will take anything, because they even say about those two football players. Let's go get those Twin Peaks. I'm like, that is weird. That's what guys would say to each other when they're like, "Hey, look at them Hooters." and I guess they were just talking about the guy's muscles. I don't know, but so they went over to try to get some leg.
But I don't know, like it was cool because it still just builds off that small town vibe.
Yeah.
And that's like where I grew up. I mean, that's the kind of shit like when so it cuts to the scene where the 4 kids are going into the house to like look around, and like the 2 are playing a prank on the other 2. And my first thought was like, see you later, Patrick. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Yeah, man.
My first thought on it was like, I remember being in high school and there being parties, and we always had to tell everybody like, don't park on the street, because that's how the cops are gonna know there's a party here. And you could never let people park on the street. So when they parked on the street in their car, I was like, now the cops are gonna show up, which didn't really happen in that case. But with the other party that they had, it was like, I think maybe that's why I liked it. The way that they built the small town was like relatable.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I lived this, so I understand this. It's real. Like I can feel it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they go into the house. They're stirring shit up. They're like looking around, and they decide knocking on the walls, looking for a hollow place to see where the doctor is hiding or whatever. And they start kind of laying out the story, because that's where you first hear Chuck's poem. Do you want to say it again?
Yeah, but he sings it. Like I don't know if it's exactly that one line that he uses, but
town's got a doctor and his name's Randall. I don't remember what.
Yeah, he sings it somehow, and this Stu character looks like he is in his 30s. Every bit of in his 30s.
Yeah. So Stu like locks the 2 friends in a room and then bails on them. Like he barricades the door and then leaves. Like ha 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 ha! Like gotcha. And Dr. Giggles is in the house, and he's just like, "Here we go. Let's raise up the kill count."
Day to night, very quickly.
It did, yeah.
Like he was trying. I guess how you say his Trotter was Dougie Doug. He was elbow checking the door. Yep. He pulled it out of socket or dislocated it. And then Leah, thank God for IMBD and subtitles. I put closed captioning on because sometimes they'll be like, squeak or make a noise, and they'll say Leah does whatever. I'm like, okay, that's that character's name, so I can write it down. But yeah, it goes from day to night very quick, and that little thing. It does. She basically says, "Hey, I know this could be some kind of trick to try to get us to bang it out, but if you can actually get the door down, you'll get some." And then he tries again, and it doesn't work. So they hear somebody coming outside, and they think it's Stu the whole time. And of course, you think Dougie Doug is stabbed in the eye when he jumps back from the lock. And you're like, oh no, he got him. But he's like, I'm just joking. And then boom, he sticks him with a needle. And injects him with some kind of green goo.
Something. And then his whole innards just like, what?
Yeah. So I have number 4. He's number 4 on the count with injection. And then I have Leah being killed off screen by most likely said injection.
Yeah. And it was right around this time that you got that flashback scene where it like introduced him as a kid with jacked up teeth and their mom.
What teeth? There ain't nothing there.
Oh yeah, man. It was just he was that poor kid.
And you can clearly see he's a sociopath. Yeah. Like the way he dissected all of his stuffed animals and sewed them back up.
Yep, they did a good job of setting the tone for that. And he just wants to be a doctor like his dad and blah 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 blah. And it's so at that point my theory was like, so the town doctor I can't read my handwriting. So the town So based on like the song and based on like the flashback scene, I was thinking about like, okay, so the doctor did something stupid. The town killed him, like Freddy Krueger style, and the kid, whatever. And that's close, but there was so much more to it. So the cops end up showing up at the house and looking around to see what the disturbance is all about because the woman like heard the screams and called or something. The neighbor lady.
She was out, heard some ruckus going on, decided she was going to go over there and investigate, and she sees the eye in the hole or whatever, and she takes off and calls the cops. But when the cops arrive, he's already gone to her house.
Yeah, but the cool thing was the cops had a good sense of humor. Like I really liked, what was it? Officer Ritz. Is that the one?
Yeah, the young cop.
Yeah, I really liked him. Like I really liked his character. He was a good character for it, or a good actor for it. But yeah, so she goes home or whatever, and the dog is barking all over the place. That damn poodle mix.
Yeah, she goes to the door. She puts down her medication, which is a red pill.
Red pill. This gets very Matrix very fast.
She says, you stupid dog, won't you? I don't think she says stupid dog, but you need to learn how to use the doggy door because it's right there in front of the dog. And it's still barking at the door to be let in. She opens the door, lets the dog in, and closes it, and then she goes and goes back to take her medication. It's a blue pill. Now, I take medication, and I want to tell you, I don't think I would. Now, if it was a white pill variant, like a shape or something, I may not notice, but a complete color change, I would notice before I put a pill in my mouth. I'm just saying.
I agree completely. Like, I'm also dumb, and I would set something there and grab it later without even looking. So there is that. But I can't imagine I wouldn't notice the color change. And then when she starts to like choke or whatever, she gets to the phone, calls 911, and she needs a doctor. Not, hey, I need an ambulance.
Yeah.
Send me a doctor.
But right before she starts to choke, I think this helps by the comment that the cop made and by the way she acts, and then her sitting down in bed before she chokes. The paper she picks up is one of those like Weekly World newspapers where it's like Elvis sighting today, and like that just rounds her out as like that's a conspiracy theory, tin hat type of a person.
That's a really good call out. That's a really good call out.
It just like it's like okay, she's weird, and what the cops say would not fly in a movie now, where she's like. He says, yeah, she calls about everything. She would see a rapist in a tube of toothpaste or something like that.
Hemorrhoid cream. Is that what I think?
I thought it was, it was either toothpaste or hemorrhoid. Yeah. But I'm like, ooh, yeah, you couldn't do that today. You can't say that.
No, it was very
topic.
It's funny hearing some of those old lines and knowing that they wouldn't fly today. Like knowing
like Sleepaway Camp. That's a movie they can never remake.
Oh, dude. Absolutely.
But yeah, Dr. Giggles shows up whenever she's calling for a doctor. Just so happens he was on call. The dog freaks out and runs, and the dog actually used the doggy door, so he did learn.
And it was cool because like in these movies, I'm like multitasking. I'm trying to share a link somewhere. In these movies, the dog always dies, right? And in this one, you get the dog doesn't die. Your camera
angle looks like you're taking pictures of your penis.
I did good.
The lighting, the shaft, is great.
Yeah, we got this. The dog always dies in the movies, so seeing a dog get away, makes me extremely happy.
Yeah, he seems not to have any hostility towards animals, so it's just the town of Moore High and just apparently everybody else. She's choking. He says, "Tell her say ah," so you can check the choking. Now that backward shot from inside her mouth, K&B did that effect and built that hole inside of her mouth facing out for the camera shot and all that.
I loved that clip. Like that was. I can't believe I didn't look it up because when I saw that, I was like, "Is this a Savini?" Like. I really liked how they did that scene.
And then
I wrote down the nose wasn't bad. Like they did a really good job.
Yeah.
So then you start.
She offs it. is the instrument jammed up the nose into the brain. So.
Yes. And then they start like giving you more of the backstory on the doctor and what happened, and killed 7 patients by cutting out their hearts after his wife had heart problems. So he was trying to learn how to do heart transplants to save her life because she had a broken heart and was going to die. And that, so you get that backstory, and then they Freddy Krueger him. They pull him out, they kill him. What year did Nightmare on Elm Street have already been out by this time, right?
What was
Nightmare on Elm Street?
Oh yeah, this was 1992, and the first Nightmare on Elm Street is the 80s.
Okay, yeah, because I just thought like that kind of town killing them thing. I didn't know if that was something that
like lynch mob style.
Yeah. Because there is one horror trope, I think you call it, that we don't see in this movie that we saw in the past 2 movies, and that was the coroner eating.
Yeah, I actually didn't get to see a coroner.
Yeah, there was no coroner. There was no coroner eating. Yeah. This is the first movie so far that we haven't had an eating coroner.
And then you got, you had that. I guess it's like a holding room or maybe a morgue area where there's a what looks like a crematorium area, but this is a little bit later on. Whenever they're showing the backstory about the heart stuff and his mom dying, I mean, earlier we learned that Holly Marie's character Jennifer has a heart issue, and that her mother died from complications or whatever during a routine surgery. So she's very worried and afraid that if she has to go into surgery, she won't make it.
And that her having a heart problem ends up playing a big thing into Dr. Giggles.
Yeah. Let's see. A little mixed up in the story, but
yeah, we're jumping around a lot today. I'm sorry.
We can move on to the next kills because I'm pinpointing kills in the story. So I'm letting you follow the story. I'm just like pointing out the kill.
So Jennifer goes back home. You meet the hot 2 young stepmom, and so you know that something must have happened to her mom. And
which
then
had
you
to be
meet
fresh.
her dad. Yeah, it's got to be
the way they mentioned it.
Fresh.
It's like she's like, well, she's still getting over the death of her mom. I'm like, and you're already banging somebody else. Yeah. And this woman is a straight, just like later on, the way she's like, well, you know, she needs to grow up and do this, and like basically she's trying to make the dad choose her over his daughter. I'm like, you're a total cunt.
Yeah, and it was just like a kind of a cliche, like that horror cliche, like the dad gets a younger stepmom, but it lays it out where you get to see that there's she has her heart monitor now that she got from the doctor's office. They drop the comments about her mom, and you start seeing that get laid out alongside the story of Dr. Giggles and his family. So it's laying things out really well. And so it goes from that, and it cuts to our good friends. Now I'm going to forget their names.
Stu and Diane.
Stu and Diane. Mm-hmm. And Diane got a condom from gym class, and they're ready to use it. But
they don't. I don't think they do that anymore. Give out condoms in school.
I don't think
like that used to be like a sex ed. Yeah, it's like a sex ed thing.
So he goes off to the bathroom to put the condom on because for some reason he can't put it on in front of her, like
because she's changing in the lingerie, and it's his mom's lingerie. I'm like, that's used
changing
lingerie.
Into his mom's lingerie. What the fuck?
What kind of Oedipus complex does this dude have? Dude. Where he's like, listen, I stole this from my mom.
Oh my gosh. Like that, I could not believe that he was like, hey, yo, I got my mom's lingerie here. You want to check it out?
I like how he's like, they left for vacation. I took it. And this was, I guess, was supposed to go. She's going to be mad when she finds out I took it. So, you know, you need to wear it.
But she did. She did. And so he's ready to like take care of that. But it's too cold in the house. And there's a risk of her getting a cold.
Well, he drops the condom in the toilet, too.
He drops the condom in the toilet. And like, when he picks it out.
Just pick it up.
Right. Instead, he uses the toothbrush. And during all of this, his little brother's playing video games downstairs.
Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario, yep.
Yeah, he's played Dr. Mario.
When he picks the condom up out of the toilet, it's leaking. There's holes in the tip. So
it's a good thing he dropped it.
It's a good, I mean, just, you didn't need one anyways, bro. You would have been, whatever. Pull and pray, man. Pull and pray. So, let's see. Yeah, my note here was, did he really put her in his mom's lingerie?
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh, no. This was like one of my, aside from putting her in his mom's lingerie, this is like one of my favorite parts of the entire movie. So, I'm skipping. Let me hold off because you want to do the kill count. So go ahead and talk about this next kill before Stu's.
It was cold in the house. She goes to adjust the heat and she's like 65, and makes that comment. I'm like, if I was the only one in my house, it would be 65 degrees. Absolutely. I'd want to walk around in a parka. I like it. Yeah. It's easy to get warm. It is hard to cool off.
Agreed.
And she's caught by Dr. Giggles, and he says, say ah, and he takes a thermometer that has an extremely sharp point and says that the only cure he has found for the common cold is, and then he smacks the huge thermometer through her throat back into her head. So
it was a great kill.
That's Diane down.
Diane is down.
Yeah.
So dude is like, fuck it. I'm not going to use a condom. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
And he goes.
Maybe she won't notice, is what he says.
He's being all seductive, and he goes under the blankets, and he crawls up them. And there's Dr. Giggles like, what up? That, I was like, it's going to be her dead body. Like, her body's going to be in the bed. He put her in there. But no, it's Dr. Giggles laying in the bed, and I lost it. That was fucking hilarious. But I don't remember how he kills him.
You don't remember?
No.
I have it written down because I looked up the official name for it. But as it pans out, there is blood in one certain area, so that can only be guessed that it is a penectomy. He cuts his penis off.
Oh man, that's awful. Yeah, somehow I must have been taking I was writing down the note. That's where I screw up, is I try to write down a note and I miss something.
Yeah.
But it's better than pausing it every second.
Well, see, that's what I did is I told Chesley, I was like, we watched it Tuesday, and I was like, hey, we got back today from that Princess for a Day event that we did, and I said, I want to watch it again. And I said, I want to do my notes and stuff. Because usually I'll do my notes while I'm watch it on my laptop or something, but this is a Blu-ray, and I only have the Blu-ray. So can't play Blu-ray on my computer. So I'm like, so there's gonna be a lot of pausing. So I'm like, you don't have to sit in here. I was like, you can go and lay down or play on the Switch or something like that, because there's gonna be a lot of pausing and me writing and then me going back to double check stuff. So
yeah,
that's what I did today. I was pausing a lot and using subtitles so I could catch everything. But yeah, cut his penis right off.
As he's getting his penectomy, the little boy, his little brother, hears something and it's like, what? But then doesn't hear Dr. Giggles like standing behind him watching him play Dr. Mario.
And the man says nothing but the truest statement that I've ever heard, especially for the world today, that he looks to the little brother, and the little brother never flinches, never does anything, never even notices Dr. Giggles behind him after murdering 2 people upstairs. He looks at him and says, terminal.
Terminal. Yep.
Yeah, like that is the best analogy for kids today and technology, is that it's a terminal disease.
Agreed.
So
while all this is going on, Jennifer is trying to live her best life. She has to like stay calm, not drink coffee, not smoke cigarettes, not drink alcohol. Yeah. Can't have the sex, all that stuff. And she's at like a fair or something with
a carnival.
A carnival with the boyfriend. And those 2 girls are still just trying to ruin the relationship. And they're on the Ferris wheel, and she's like telling him the heartfelt story about what's going on with her and how she has that heart monitor and shit. And she's just not feeling it. Like the girl's trying to ruin the relationship. He's being insensitive to her, and she's just like, man, I'm done, and flees and goes home.
Yeah, she's like, I'm just, too worried about me, and like she says, I'm selfish and stuff like that. It's really weird. It's like a lot of self-deprecating stuff she says, and then she runs off, and the boyfriend's kind of like, I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Right.
It's like whenever a girlfriend
Been
freaks
there.
out, and you're like, oh my god, I didn't do anything. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at like if I know when I do something stupid, and I'm not getting told I did something stupid.
80% of the time, I do something stupid. So
that's
always the way to live.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I, for one, know that I've been in one of those situations where I'm like, I didn't do anything. I don't know why you're upset. I will rub your belly or get you a snack, whatever it takes, or I'll just fuck off, like whatever you need. And he was smart. He fucked off. He was just like, go do your thing. And when she gets home, that's where you get the comment about like the dad's like, she just lost her mother. And the stepmom's like, well, you just lost your wife right after they get done doing the deed.
Yeah. But you seem to move on. I'm like, well.
Yeah, he sure did.
The best way to get over one is get under another.
Hey.
But she throws her heart monitor in the fish tank because she is just over it. She's just so tired of this.
Right. The whole 14 hours of wearing it has just been so rough. So she throws it in there, and does she leave again? And the dad goes looking for her?
Yeah, she goes downstairs after throwing the heart monitor in, and she starts looking through a photo album of it's old wedding pictures of her dad and her mom. And then she turns the page, and it's like a prom photo of her and Max, and the corsage is pressed in and stuff like that. And I guess she's like, well, I need to go see him. So she goes back to the carnival and quietly closes the door. But all this time, Dr. Giggles has been peeking in like a pervert. So she leaves, and I guess he doesn't know she leaves. And Dr. Giggles comes in and slams, the door slams behind him. And this is the first time they hear something. So he's like, oh, Jennifer must be home or something. So he gets up. And then that's whenever him and Tamara get into a argument about basically you care about your daughter more than I do. I'm here now. Come and bang me again because you're king. I think that's what she calls him. She's like, you're a king.
I think that's what. Yeah.
So he leaves, and then she gets mad and has a pint of extremely melted ice cream.
Yeah, man.
Like when she throws it in the bowl, that stuff is already like, hey, that's been sitting out for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, ice cream sundae would have been ashamed.
Yeah. Definitely. That's what they need. They need a good go check out Ice Cream Sunday, Ripley, West Virginia.
Dude.
They need a Dr. Giggles.
They need a Dr. Giggles drink. You need to tell them that. So she gets her ice cream out. She like scarfs it down. Like she's like unhappy, eat my ice cream, whatever. And Dr. Giggles is like, nah, dog. Like you got to take care of that body. That body is a vessel.
He said all this sugars and fat.
All this sugars and fats. And he decides to pump her stomach.
Yeah. So the way they made it, sorry.
No.
They said that a stomach pump is a normal thing used commonly. So it's not going to, damage a person's stomach lining and cause them to actually die or anything like that because it's used so often. So they put a little scene in right before he puts the tube in when he's holding the tube and he turns it on. And you can hear it running, but then he pushes turbo, and this blade comes out that looks like a rotor-rooter blade and goes back in after he hits the turbo. So he feeds in the feeding tube, and it starts to pump. And then as it's coming out, he's like, and then he hits the turbo, and then you see the blood come into the mixture.
From vanilla ice cream to strawberry swirl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome. It was a great kill. And so it goes back to like a flashback of him as a kid, and dude, that kid that played him did a great job too. And his
just
laugh,
being weird.
Yeah, his like child laugh was so creepy. Just such a creepy laugh. And then because they're like broken hearts can't be fixed, mom's dying.
Yeah, well, that's like after he does the kill to cause the flashback, he actually goes into Jennifer's room and sees the heart monitor.
Yep.
And the thing, he pulls it out, and how you spoke on the similarities to the town lynching of the dad mirrors Nightmare on Elm Street. This, to me, kind of mirrors Halloween, to where Laurie Strode is not Michael's sister, but she's a babysitter like his sister.
Mm-hmm.
So he becomes infatuated to try to kill her. So here is when Dr. Giggles becomes infatuated with Jennifer and trying to save her, like he could not save his mother, like to help his mother. So.
Absolutely. And I love that. I thought that was perfect. Like, I thought that was really well done. So they get that flashback with his dad's like, she's leaving now, she's dying, and like they're really upset, and then they look at each other and just start laughing. Mm-hmm. And it was such a creepy, well done scene. And so broken hearts can be fixed, whatever. How'd she get there? I don't know what that note means. I took terrible notes on this one.
How'd she get to the carnival? Probably. How'd she get? I mean, I guess they walk. I guess everything's so small town. Because then it cuts to like her looking for him at the carnival, and that girl finding her, saying, "Well, I could show you where they're at." Because
so I know what I'm talking about.
Girls
now.
Take him to
So I skipped. I didn't take notes on any of the next part. Then this next section was kind of just a typical like Well, it was. How do I put it? Like, it's just kind of a. She goes find the boyfriend. The boyfriend's cheating on her. Just kind of a stereotypical, movie moment. So the two promiscuous gals from school decide to take him aside and try to make the moves, and
they take him. There's like a get together because I think it's called like Breeder Hill or something like that. Is where everybody was making out earlier.
Yep.
They got ran off there, so they moved it to something they call the big house. And everybody's there, so they take him there. And, of course, the girl gets jealous because the one is hooking up with him, so she goes back to which the carnival has to be very close. It has to be at the school. Maybe it's a school carnival or something. Because it never really... There's a big bash, a poster outside Summer Bash. So maybe it's the Summer Bash carnival that the school throws. Right at the beginning, it shows it from the school. And I guess... She walks back and she sees Jennifer. She's like, "Oh, you're looking for Max? I can show you where he's at." So, that's when she takes him and she says, "Now I can see who really is sick." I'm like, "Oh, wicked burn."
And so you get that, and then you all of a sudden find out like she runs from him and she's gonna hide, and she flees, sees that her dad's there too, must be looking for her. So she goes into the fun house, and he goes into the fun house to try to stop her. And Dr. Giggles is in the fun house. Yeah, the labyrinth. And you have like the Hall of Mirrors and all this shit. And they get lost in there, and they find like she sees that someone's after her, and blah, 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 right?
So you got Jennifer, Max, Dr. Giggles, and Corrine, or something like that. That follows in. So we have all four of these people in the fun house of mirrors.
And one of them gets killed, don't they?
Yes. During this whole exchange, which I busted out laughing. I physically laughed out loud when Corrine, I think she sees either Jennifer or Max, and it was just Jennifer. She's running to her. She's like, "Oh, hey!" And she goes, just hits that fucking glass.
Oh yeah, so
that was hard.
I love
and
that.
She bounces off, and then it looks like it either broke or busted her nose really bad because it's bleeding. So she could have broke her nose, but she's looking at herself like, "Oh," and then Dr. Giggle shows up behind her, and this is the one kill that, like the studio and like everybody kind of disagreed on.
Really?
Because the door like swings behind Jennifer, and you see her hanging there. She is killed. She is suffocated by a giant Band-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's over her face is a giant Band-Aid.
That was...
Everybody's like, where'd he get it at? I mean...
Yeah. That one kind of had me like, what the heck? So you get like her running. She gets out of the fun house. Her and her boyfriend flee. She's running to her house or whatever. and the cops are still like on the prowl.
She runs the window busts,
Yeah.
and Dr. Giggles in pursuit, and he's constantly after her. Like, she falls down the hill, and he asks, if she's hurt and stuff, because he's concerned. She whacks him in the head with a rock, and then she runs on the road, and the cops almost hit her.
Yep.
They hit her. It's a soft bump, but it's a hit.
It's a soft bump.
And they take her in. So now we're at the police station.
And it's like now you start to really see the full story. Like the cops are opening up about it. The older cop, he was part of it. The younger cop is like, tell us what's going on. Like, what is this? Why are you hiding this shit? Blah, blah, blah. And the cop lays out the story about how his Dr. Giggles' dad kills the 7 patients to steal their hearts. So he's watching over the bodies. They had no idea where the son went and all this. And he hears something and he goes into where all the bodies are. And all of a sudden he like looks at his mother, Dr. Giggles' mother. And there's this weird like movement inside her body. And then the knife comes up, saws on down. And the little boy just crawls out of his mom's belly. Like reborn into the world. Just like Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura coming out of
Rhino's butthole.
Rhino. And it was just like, how did they get him in there?
Well, they said that, they must have sewed him in. I'm like, if you look at the cadaver whenever it's first.
Uh-oh. Chuck froze. Did I freeze or did Chuck freeze? I need someone in the chat tell me if you can still hear me or if you can still hear Chuck. It's not really going to work if you can only hear me.
Are we up and going again? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Did you freeze or did I freeze?
I don't know. Like, it was a big... I don't know. It messed me up.
Okay.
It may have been me. Like, it may have been something on my side. I don't know what it was. But we were at the how did he get in there situation of like that
how
body.
Did he get in there?
Yeah, it says it was sewed in there, so I guess maybe they if he came out one way, I'm sure they were pushed him back up in that way.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I think if they flipped over the body, I think they put him in through the butt.
Yeah, it could have happened, but
that's the only way that makes sense to me.
Like the hiss like thing that he did when he got out.
Yeah,
blood. I'm like,
how is he breathing? How is he breathing in there? You can't breathe when you're up inside a body like that. Like he would not have survived.
There's a few holes. He may put his mouth down there and was like,
just to straw out the bum, just breathing through it. Oh man. Ugh. Ugh. So he comes out with
that was 35 years ago.
His creepy like lack of teeth, just oh man.
And that's when we get the full poem or nursery rhyme or whatever he calls it.
Did I write the whole one down? Do you have it?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, you want me to read it again?
Did you read the full one before or just the first part?
Yeah, that was the full one at the beginning.
Okay. I mean, you can do it again if you want.
No. Listen. We'll save it for a short later.
All right. So you get the full poem. So the dad is on the phone, or the dad gets home, right? Dr. Giggles has already gotten to their house. Here's the message. He knows that Jennifer's at the police station. The dad gets home, hears the message, and knows that he's at the police station, or knows that she's at the police station. And there's a second message. And it's like, I'm standing right behind you. And he like turns around.
Look of like,
what? Yeah, he's like, what? He turns around and there's Dr. Giggles. And I don't remember how the line gets laid out, but it's like, if you think this is bad, wait till you get my bill. And it was just like,
saying these puns.
Dr. Puns. Oh, they were so great. Oh my gosh. They made me so happy. So happy.
But so Mr. Campbell does not make the kill count.
Right. Mr. Campbell somehow survives. Yeah. And then the cop comes in. the cop comes in and he's like, "You owe me 35 years of sleep," and pulls out his gun, right, and shoots him.
Yeah, Dr. Giggles stabs him like in the base
Yep.
of the head, and he's backing up, and I guess it didn't kill him right off, so that's when he does his line there and then shoots him in the side there, and then just the fact they're like, "Hey man, he's a psychopath, so you gotta giggle through the pain."
Giggle through the pain. I loved the next scene where he's like stitching himself up, giggling through that pain.
Yeah,
like it was.
And he's like talking to other doctors. He's like forceps. Yeah,
using the mirror above him to like stitch himself up. That was amazing. And you get that dream sequence. So the dream sequence, and that was Jennifer's dream sequence when she's like in the hospital room.
Yeah.
And she's hooked up. They're testing her heart, making sure, how she was doing and whatever. And it's just this like dream sequence with Dr. Giggles. And that one threw me off. Like they did it to the point where you didn't realize it was like a dream right away. Like there was no like fuzzy view on it or anything. They did it a little too well because I was just like, what the fuck? Like this doesn't fit.
Yeah, and then she wakes up, and she sees that she's in Dr. Chamberlain's office. Just let her know it was a dream. It's okay. We're checking your heart. It's going to be over soon. And then Dr. Giggles arrives and stabs Chamberlain in the back with a pair of scissors, small pair of surgical scissors, it looks like. So then they get into a scuffle.
Yep.
And
it was a pretty good one, too.
A few lines are thrown around about something about time. And he looks at his watch. And that shows you that that's the reason maybe he didn't completely get messed up by the bullet, is it passed through that thick watch. Yeah, it's like shot through the watch.
I didn't catch that, but that I caught the damage to the watch, and I was like, I don't get that. But no, that makes sense.
Because that's where he wore it, in that little pocket right here up front, and that's where he shot him. So, Dr. Chamberlain is choked by a pressure cuff.
Yeah, dude. That was a great kill. I don't know if that's my favorite kill, but it was a good one. And he takes Jennifer back to his underground hospital.
Which I don't understand. The waiting room is a nice waiting room. The rooms, the hallway, very clean. You get to this surgical area, and it is the most disgusting, rundown basement black market.
Yeah, it's pretty much surgery. Shambles.
Yeah. So he's doing this. Nope, that one, like the whole Goldilocks situation with hearts. He's putting them over her chest. That one's too big. That one's too small. Stuff like that. Trying to find one that will fit. And I guess that's how psychopaths think it works.
That's how surgery works.
Not blood type, not anything like that.
Yeah, he's trying to perfect.
Clearly, these hearts are no longer viable. I mean, they're not on ice. They're not.
They're perfectly fine.
That. Yeah.
And then so Officer Reitz, whatever. He comes barging in. He finds the bodies, pukes all over the floor, and
which is just funny how he throws up,
dude.
He's like, I'm cool.
Yeah. It was. And then when they're like later on, they're wrestling on the floor of that room, and you're like, "Who rolled in the vomit? One of you motherfuckers rolled in the vomit.
Which one fell in it?
You didn't miss it.
Yeah.
So he like finds her in there. He basically kills Jennifer. Shocked her, right?
Yeah.
He like shocks her to stop the heart so he can replace the heart, and that's when the cop barges in. Dr. Giggles goes running after getting shot at. Makes the power go out so he can get away. Power comes back on, and the doctor has to give her mouth-to-mouth CPR, bring her back to life, right?
Yeah, the officer, the cop does.
Yeah. So the cop brings her back to life and knows he needs to find Dr. Giggles. And that's when it shows like the pathways through the house. And earlier on in the movie, when Stu and them got to the house and were gonna like party or whatever, and ended up locking Dougie Fresh in there, Trotter in the one room, they said something about he was hiding in the walls, and that's when they were knocking on for the hollow spots. I thought that was interesting because when they were in the basement, it showed him go to that like space that was kind of between the walls. And I thought it was going to lead to more. I thought it was going to lead to like him getting upstairs and shit. It didn't. Anticlimactic, but I was expecting it. But like at this point, like all hell starts to break loose. Like he has to resuscitate Jennifer. Her boyfriend like shows up too. The cops trying to figure out what's going on. So they're trying to get him out of there. They get back to the lobby where the 7 dead bodies and the vomit are. And then Dr. Giggles attacks again.
Yeah. They're in the lobby. There's tons of, the dead bodies. Because the first time I watched through it, whenever he walks in, he sees that dude in like the suit. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy?
Mm.
But then I remember that was the key card guy from the car. I'm like, oh, okay. So Reach drops the gun. There's ammo everywhere. A scuffle begins. Jennifer gets the gun. Apparently loads one bullet because she's smart.
One at a time.
Fires, misses. I fired and I missed. So and then Dr. Giggle gets a hold of the gun.
He gets the gun, man. He gets the gun. And I don't know how she got extra, like, there's like 3 or 4 more shots thrown in the gun at that point. It doesn't make any sense. Dr. Giggles gets a gun. Jennifer and her boyfriend go out one way. The cop goes out the other. Giggles goes after the cop. And when the cops first went in the house earlier, they were like, I'm not going up those steps. They're too rickety. And now that Jennifer and her boyfriend are trying to escape, the steps collapse. Jennifer is still all weak because she just got resuscitated, right?
Yeah, she died and came back.
Yeah, she died and came back to life. Boyfriend's trying to get her out of there. And the stairs collapse. So now you have the scuffle of the doctor and the cop. And then in the other room, you have Jennifer and the boyfriend trying to get out.
Yeah, well, we missed one of the better lines, actually. Whenever he is chased off, when Jennifer dies and he's chased off by the gunshot, and he runs, he goes to that one area and says, it's time to do what a doctor does best. And he pulls that
oh, yes!
So.
Yes. Pulls out the clubs, and then later he's like, should have got the 9-iron.
Yeah. But then, as they're trying to get out, he grabs Jennifer's foot or one of their foot or whatever. So, but in all this, the house is on fire.
House is on fire in the medical room where all the oxygen tanks and shit are.
And so they're in the operation room. Officer and doctor are fighting. We got he is killed. What did I write down here? Bonesaw. That's what he's killed by.
Yep. He tries to choke Dr. Giggles out with the chain.
Yeah.
And they get flipped and he gets the bone saw. And then the house blows up. Motherfucker, the fire hits the oxygen tanks and everything blows up. Yeah. And you get that doctor bag plop right in front of the house. That was a nice touch.
Fire. Yeah. That, and to just a quick playback, because we'll try to get this done here in the next 10 minutes because we only got a few more.
We got this.
Sorry for going over an hour, guys. But when he suits up, he does his villain superhero suit up and his doctor get up at the beginning. The house is disgusting. Yep. Run down, cobweb, spray paint. But when he opens those doors, those clothes and the medical jacket, doctor's coat, and stuff like that, pristine.
Yep.
Not a touch of dust, moth, mold. No one's touched them, even though the whole house is vandalized. Which I think a nice touch would have been that's the way he sees it. But then you actually get to see him, and it's all disgusting.
That was like one of the things I was saying about in the beginning when we started to talk about this was like it seemed weird to me that they never found that doctor's office and stuff down there.
Yeah,
like how they did. I don't know, this dumb little movie stuff.
But after the explosion, we cut to a actual hospital, and Jennifer's getting rushed through into surgery because the electrocution and the resuscitation did damage her heart.
Yep.
So they're going to have to do surgery.
As one would expect.
Yeah. So,
but she's got the right doctors. She's got the right staff. They're using anesthesia. They're doing it professionally.
Yeah, they're putting her under. The doctor's getting things ready. The nurse is beside the doctor, notices some stuff leaking out from underneath the door. So she goes to investigate. She opens the door. There's 2 random bodies killed somehow. Look like throat slits on the floor. And then she gets it.
And so, have you ever had to go to be put under for surgery?
I have been put under twice, and it is it's an experience.
Dude, it's awesome.
Coming back is what's rough.
Yeah.
Because with my weight and health, they're always like, listen, it's, we always have to test you and make sure you're okay because we want to be able to safely bring you back around.
That's fair.
Basically, you die, and then they have to bring you back.
What? What?
That's what it feels like. You're like coming back.
Okay, like, oh my gosh. I had to get put under for just a dumb surgery on my arm. So, I'm gonna tell it real quick because it's kind of funny. I was trying to get in health, like get in shape and shit, and I was doing like trail running with Cujo, and I slipped in mud and I fell, right? And all I could think was, don't let go of the leash because I don't want Cujo to run off. He would not have run anywhere, but I was so paranoid. And like the seconds before I fell, I landed with my arm across my chest, flat on the ground. So I popped my arm out of socket, right? In the middle of the woods. I'm like 1.5 miles into this little run that I was going on. And I stand up. I'm like, oh shit. And I pick up my arm and I popped it back into place. No idea how I did it, but I did. That's what happened. Whatever. So like 3 or 4 weeks later, I finally go to the doctor because it just hurt all the time. Anyway, they had to do surgery to get scar tissue and stuff. I just remember like they wheeled me into the room and they put me on the bed and they were like, start breathing. And I don't know what the doctor said. And I was pissed. I'm like, what the fuck are you trying to just out? I just remember being so mad and like cursing. And then I was out. Anyways.
Yeah. I went under
was a lot
reconstructive back surgery. And I went under 15 reconstructive back surgery. And then I slipped in mud when I was like 26. And my whole body came down on my ankle and I shattered my ankle, top of my foot, and bottom of my shin.
Jesus.
I'm a fat dude, so coming down on my body parts.
It's funny that it was mud for both of us. Mud got us both. That's fucking mud, man.
But she's getting put under. Dr. Giggles walks in after killing 2 doctors and a nurse. And then he starts, the doctor is paying attention to Jennifer, and he sees someone to his side start to pull out instruments from a bag. And these are
diabolical.
Very dangerous instruments that he's never got to try before, so he's very excited.
Very excited. The real doctor's like, what is this stuff? And he's like, well, we're gonna try it out.
And then he does that. Yeah. Yep. He does that slide thing. They said they actually filmed, the impact of that and stuff. So all the stuff, this damage that is done by him is filmed. We just couldn't see it.
Oh, that's sad.
So that's another random doctor down. And begins the chase of Jennifer and
because she was hooked up to the anesthesia, but doesn't get enough to get knocked out. That was kind of my point of like, I was out. Like she has
no way that she can still be going.
Right, and so she's running. She makes it into that little room. It shows like the cart for the whatever it's called.
The defibrillator.
Bring him back to life. Yeah, the defibrillator. Bring him back to life. He breaks into the room as he will. She throws the glasses down, and he's coming to her. He's got his weapons and shit.
He's all nice and burnt and crispy a little bit,
from
the fire and explosion. Yeah,
and
so
I don't. Good.
It's alcohol. I think it's like an alcohol solution is what she throws down, so it ignites. Well, it electrocutes him, so it could be water. It could be like a saline solution, but electrocutes him, and he drops. So you think with enough voltage, he's dead, right? Yeah.
She's creeping by.
He grabs her. She picks up both of his instruments that he brought in, double taps to the chest with it, and then that's whenever one of your favorite lines there was
is there a doctor in the house?
And that's it.
That's it.
And then it goes to a room after her surgery. She's waking up. Her dad comes in, so you find out, oh, he didn't die, because he thought he was dead when he attacked. The one cop came in. He's like, it was a doctor that did it, and then he goes back down. So you're like, okay, now he's dead. No, so he comes in, and then apparently she miraculously forgives the boyfriend for cheating on her, and they're so in love. And then the movie ends.
Then they break up a week later.
Because after it ended, Chelsea's like, "Was that it?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I hated this movie." I was like, "Okay."
Evan Rendell Jr., Dr. Giggles.
Yeah.
I thought it was great, man. I really did think that it was a good movie.
All right. You want Rotten Tomatoes? Is that what you want?
Let's do it.
Rotten Tomatoes score. The tomato score, the tomatometer. That means these are critics and people like that. 20%.
Eek.
The
really
audience
surprising.
score. Yeah, the audience score was a 41.
That's so weird. I can't believe that.
Now remember, Dead Alive scores. The tomatometer was a 89 and the audience was a 87.
That's so weird to me.
That is a 60-point difference.
I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how that's like. I don't know how off I am about what ones I like. That's so weird. Like, what does that say?
We like
about
what we
me?
like.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I'm just glad that the movies I'm putting on the list I've enjoyed and I've watched. I've watched 98% of the movies that is on the list. There's a few on there that I've seen that is kind of niche that I've wanted to see and I haven't yet. So those will eventually make it on there. But Darkman is on there. I added it after I remembered it. There's a few more I want to add.
Yeah, and like we have like movies that Chuck and I have picked out that will put votes out for and stuff, but like we want it to be like we want you guys.
Yeah, any suggestions from
anybody. We want it to be movies that you guys all suggest too. So don't be afraid to call it out and give us any suggestions you got. Like my list is upstairs, so I can't remember what all's on it, but I know I have like Hills Have Eyes, the original one's on there. Child's Play 3. I know we said we were gonna avoid doing the big ones, but I have some sequels on there, like Child's Play 3. I have Children of the Corn 2, stuff like that. So yeah, it'd be fun to do stuff like right now. The ones I moved this, and I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah. Now the suggestions that have been put out there is put on a list. It's not like we're like okay, whatever. We just have to. Basically, we're choosing 5 movies from the list. So you did 3 this time, and I did 2 because I did 3 last time. Or I picked. I just threw them out there last time. I was like, okay,
yeah,
but I'll let you go 3 this time. And they were just movies I thought fit a more summertime, like Night of the Creeps is a me chosen movie it's prom. It's like right around prom, stuff like at end of school. It takes place at a college, but then you got the Boy Scout guy to the zombie apocalypse.
Okay, I need to know something here.
Yeah.
Is it Boy Scouts Guide or is it just Scouts Guide?
It's supposed to be ooh, that's a good question. Because I put Boy Scouts Guide, but I'm pretty sure it's Boy Scouts Guide. I could be wrong.
I need to know, man. I need to know.
Oh no, it's Scouts Guide. I just gotta edit it.
All right. I just need to know. I was losing my mind.
If you look up Boy Scouts, if you look up the full Boy Scouts Guide to the zombie apocalypse, it takes you to Scouts Guide to the zombie apocalypse.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's free right now on Pluto.
There we go. I don't know what Pluto is, but
me neither. And then Night of the Creeps. But yeah, those are the ones I chose, and they were just kind of like a summer.
And I did Fortress because I'm not giving up on Fortress yet.
So we're gonna put that in every single one.
I'll go eventually.
We can.
Tourist Trap and Magic. Magic from 1978, starring Anthony fucking Hopkins.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, make sure you get your votes in, guys. We're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, we got one person watching. I'm pretty sure it's Chesley.
Yeah, she probably just has the phone on beside of her. So.
She's just waiting for me to admit that she's right and I'm wrong.
But that would never.
Whoa, Chorizo Bandito. All right.
Right, he came in right the last second.
Right.
You missed the whole show, man. It's an hour and 25 minutes.
Spooky. Oh, it says only two people. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know you're still here. But yeah, that's it. Go vote. We'll see what we have. We'll be back again probably next Saturday-ish to talk about what movie we've selected.
Yeah, we can do next Saturday since I'm just yeah, we should be able to do next Saturday.
Yeah.
Just
we'll keep you up to date.
Announce.
Just got to keep an eye on either our YouTubes or Facebooks, and we'll let you know when we go live next.
And we really appreciate everybody that actually watches and is willing to watch. So
absolutely do. Hit the thumbs up on the video, likes on Facebook, all that fun stuff, and we will see you next time.
All right, later.